Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve with Real Progressives, and I'm trying to set the stage for our live stream tonight when Ellis Winningham joins me for our normal 8 o'clock meeting with Ellis. Being that it's Mother's Day, I want everyone to know that we are, in fact, going to definitely do our show tonight. Our show tonight is going to be talking playing by the rules and understanding exactly what it means when people say, hey, you can't win playing a rigged game when you aren't part of setting the rules. And so just to kind of let you all understand what I'm talking about so it'll whet your appetite to realize where we're going with this. When somebody tells you that you cannot be a part of something, when someone tells you that you can't win, when someone tells you you have all these limitations on you, and you actually believe it, and you absorb it, and you take it in, and you suggest to yourself that that's the only realm of possibilities, you absolutely take yourself out of the game. You render yourself impotent, and you render every other possible solution outside the pale. So going forward tonight, as Ellis and I will sit down, we'll talk about all the ways that they keep us in a box, and all the ways that we allow it. It's interesting to see how many people sit there and say they're revolutionaries, all the while peddling the same exact lies and bullshit that the establishment tells you that you must, in fact, go along with. It's amazing how many people peddle the same worthless, conservative fiscal ideas. Fucking conservative ideas, folks. Revolutionary my ass. Rev-a-fucking-lutionary my ass. The same exact bullshit that you claim to hate from the Republicans and all the other Ayn Randians, you sit there and you co-sign. That's right, that is a limitation that you put on yourself. That is a lie you feed yourself, and you have grown so accustomed to lying to yourself and being stricken by idiocy and stricken by these chains that bind you. Every time you go with that, every time you go along with that, you literally take yourself out of the revolutionary game. Every time you go along with it, you take yourself out of the revolutionary game. They talk about it's impossible to be revolutionary in a counter-revolutionary party like the Democratic Party. Well, how about even if you're outside the Democratic Party? How about even if you're a Green Party or you're an independent or anything else, and you sit there and you peddle right-wing conservative logic? How in the world are you planning in any way, shape, or form to be any use to any form of revolution whatsoever? Somebody help me out. Help me understand how peddling the same worthless idiocy that you hate in the GOP, that you hate in the Libertarians, that you hate in all these Austerians. You see Greece and you hate the lies that they're being told. You hate the lies. You hate them. You hate them. You hate them. You hate what they're doing in Flint, Michigan. You hate them. And yet there you are, playing by the same rules that got us there, playing by the same lies that got us there, absorbing and repeating and saying the same lies that created each of those situations. You continue to peddle them. Why do you do that? Why do we do that? Why would someone say they're a revolutionary while playing by the establishment rules? Help a brother out? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. The bottom line, if you want revolutionary change, you sure as hell got to get out of this bullshit thinking. You got no prayer in hell to make any kind of change if you're going to continue believing right-wing logic. Because the very, very strictures, if you believe the bullshit about debt and deficits, if you believe that bullshit, then the right wing is absolutely correct. The Republicans have got it right if you believe the right-wing logic. If that's the bullshit you're going to play in, you've got a split personality. You can't sit there and say on one hand you're a progressive and on the other hand the right wing has got it right on economics. Do you realize how ridiculous you sound? Do you realize how crazy you sound? Do you realize what an abomination that is? It's one thing to all be together. It's another thing altogether to be right. and being united in the wrong way to go right off a cliff is no kind of unity for this revolutionary, brothers and sisters. Hell no. I don't care how Barney badass you are, I don't care how cool you are, and I don't care how wicked awesome your fist looks in the air. If you don't understand economics, you aren't leading me anywhere. I don't want to hear about all your cool stories. I don't want to hear about all your cool protests and all your other cool shit. You are short-circuiting the process if you're believing right-wing logic about economics. None of the crap you want to do is any relevance whatsoever. None. Zero. Zip. Zero. Do you get it? None. When I say none, I'm talking about zero. So all the flailing about and talking about conspiracies and all this other bullshit, if you can't get the basics down, how in the world are you ever going to be a revolutionary and make change? Seriously, folks. I'm begging you, help me understand how you think you're changing anything if you still believe that the fucking government is broke. How do you believe that and then still say you want single payer? Oh, you think you're going to tax your way there? Do you think you're going to tax it? You're going to extract those dollars out? But they're deleted when they're received, my friends. They are deleted. They're not being recycled. Don't be a dodo bird. I'm serious. The right wing has got us by the short hairs, and you're playing into it. You are playing into it. Anyone is playing into it that sits there and repeats this bullshit. We're in debt to China, for fuck's sake. Oh my God. Where do the Chinese get all these US dollars, friends? And what makes a US dollar so special? Where do you dig US dollars out of? Oh, wait a minute. It's a piece of paper. The United States can't run out of pieces of paper. It can't run out of keystrokes. When are you going to get it through your head? And all the right wing, we're in debt. My God, we're running out of pieces of freaking paper. For fuck's sake. The world's coming to an end. We're all going to die. Fuck. Give me a break. We're not broke, guys. We can have it all, but you gotta care enough. Folks, I'm not joking. When I say this, this is like the crazy stuff. When I see you liking all these people that don't understand economics and you follow them around, oh, they got this great lie. They're talking about all this shit. And I say to yourself, but what are they actually changing? They couldn't tell you how to fund a freaking paper bag fest. They couldn't get themselves out of a jam because they don't know how the federal financing works. They don't fucking get it. And they're leaders of the movement. They're fellow revolutionaries. Woo, woo. Woo, woo. Come on. Come on, man. You guys are better than this, right? How in the world are you going to follow someone that doesn't understand the basics of economics? Where are they leading you to? Down the toilet? What are they going to do? Lead you to a right-wing land of austerity because they don't know any better? Because they're boxer rocks dull? What the fuck, man? Seriously, the rules that we buy into, the lies that we buy into, all this bullshit is literally kneecapping us. And it's putting us off to the side, as Ellis says. Ellis said perfectly that we're sidelined. It's like the coach pulls you out of the game, says you're out of the game, you can't play. And you say, okay, guys, I can't play today, man. I can't play today. Not enough money, not enough paper in the world. We're broke. How do we do this? How are we going to pay for it? I don't know. I mean, guys, at some point in time, you got to want to be right. You got to want to be right. You know what? Maybe it would be better. Maybe what I should start doing, I started thinking about this. Maybe if I start talking about, we got to get the Rothschilds, man. We got to go after the Rothschilds. It's so much cooler. The people with, the dull kids want to hear about the Rothschilds. So let me talk about Rothschilds and Soros and then slip in some facts, right? Maybe I get them caught up in the beginning thinking, yeah, we're going to talk about the creature from Jekyll Isle and how everything went downhill in 1913. Man, everything went down the shitter in 1913, and God, and maybe if I get them sucked in with that lie, maybe I can talk to them about all that bullshit. Maybe then they'll start listening, and then I can say, oh, by the way, I was lying. Let me tell you about monetary sovereignty, folks. Let me tell you about how the United States is not broke. Let me tell you about how we can do this. and see if they actually want to solve these problems. Because my friends, I'm telling you right now, if you understand what I'm saying, if you actually understand what I am saying, then there is no reason in the world to ever sit there and wonder how we're going to pay for it again. If you understand what I'm saying, it should practically be the only subject you talk about. It's that big a deal. But you're going to see people waxing poetic about nothing burgers, about giant, enormous nothing burgers. And I'm telling you right now, people want to hear the stupid, worthless, Rothschild, Soros, deep state, blah, 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 blah. What can you do about that? What can you do about it? Not a fucking thing. They love being paralyzed. They love being paralyzed. They love being ineffectual. They love having a reason why they can't solve any problems. They love having an excuse for not being able to do anything, for being inept, for being completely and utterly out of the game, or, as Ellis said, sidelined. They love being sidelined. It gives an excuse for why they don't have to push for truth. What are we going to do, folks? What are we going to do? So tonight at 8 p.m., join Ellis Winningham and myself, and we're going to talk about the ties that bind, the chains that bind, the lies that bind, the things that keep you and I out of the game. Because who cares if we go in a controlled opposition march to Washington, D.C., all locking arms? Who gives two shits if we don't fucking have it right? I'm telling you right now, folks, this is the number one issue there is. It solves environmental issues. It solves healthcare issues. It solves education issues. It solves income inequality issues. It solves job guarantees. It stops suicides. It makes our lives better. But yet, at the same time, unfortunately, we've got to overcome our faux-aggressive right-wing brothers and sisters who run around preaching the words of Alex Jones and Ron Paul and talk about how, oh my God, our dollars are worthless, inflation, we're all going to die. Time to lose those people or train them up, because they are killing our movement, friends. I'm Steve Grumbine. I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. Have a good night, everybody.